Hello and welcome. As a parent of a child who may be in need of an individual education program or IEP from Individual Disability Education Act IDEA, this may be a worrying time for you and your child. Please let us help you and your family. You and your child are the most important part of the IEP program. You are both a very important part of the IEP team. Let us talk about the steps you'll be taking to make the education of your child will receive the best it can be. The first step is the parent, guardian, and student involvement IEP process. By law, a child's education cannot be altered unless the school has written permission from the parent or guardian. If permission is granted, then the IEP process is started. Both the parent and the student are welcome to attend the meetings. By law, the school needs to give written notification of time and place for the meetings. The meetings must be agreed upon by the parent or the guardian. You are a very important part of the IEP team. No one knows your child better than you do. No better person to speak for themselves than the student himself or herself. The referral process. How did this IEP all start? Well, this responsibility is taken upon by the general education teacher. If a teacher notices the academics of the students are not growing, he or she will gather the data and documentation to support the concerns and bring it to a response to intervention team. This team will try to identify the trouble of the cause of delayed academic growth. If their means of provided support does not produce growth, then with the parent or guardian's permission, the documentation concerning what was tried is gathered and referral is written for the student to be evaluated. Evaluation. It is a preliminary assessment is required by a DA before special education and connected assistance can be offered to a child. The purpose of an evaluation is to determine if the child has a disability as defined by the IDEA, to understand the child's educational needs and determine the correct educational program will be suitable for the student. Eligibility. There are two factors that must be identified for a child to be qualified for special education and related services, and they are as follows. It must be determined that the child is a child with a disability, and the child must be the child must need special education and related services. Components of the IEP. According to the state of Arizona, all information I am about to give you may be found on the Department of Arizona Education, azed.gov. And it is as follows. An IEP is a written statement for a child with a disability that is developed, reviewed, and revised in a meeting and must include certain content. It must include a statement of the child's present levels of academic achievement and functional performance, a statement of measurable annual goals, describe how the child's program's progress toward meeting annual goals will be measured, and when periodic reports of the child's progress will be provided. A statement of special education and related services and supplemental aids and services to be provided to the child. A statement of the program modifications or support for the school personnel. The explanation of the extent, if any, to which the child will not participate with non-disabled children in regular class or activities. A statement of accommodations necessary to measure academic achievement and functional performance on the state and district-wide assessments. The projected date for the beginning of the services and anticipated frequency, location, and duration of those services. If an IEP team determines that the child must take an altered assessment, a statement explaining why. If the child turns 16 while on IEP is in effect, appropriate measurable post-secondary goals based on the age-appropriate transition assessment related to training, education, employment, and where appropriate, independent living and transition services needed to assist a child in reaching the post-secondary goals. Okay. Expectations for ongoing communication between the teacher and the school and the parent guardian to support development and achievement of the student. Communication is key and is the success of the student. The information highway goes both ways. Please let the school honestly know about how you and your child feels during this process. The IEP process must have the involvement of the parents, or guardian. The caregivers must be notified in enough time to plan attending. A meeting must be scheduled at a mutual agreed on time and place. When the child turns 16 or younger, if determined appropriately by the IEP team, they are invited to attend the meeting. The ethical responsibilities of the teacher as part of the IEP team are as follows: to be committed to the highest level of professional and ethical practice, to advocate for the rights of the student, to be transparent and maintain regular communication about the student's progress with all members of the IEP team, to ensure appropriate instructions is created and designed for the student's IEP and implemented, to not gossip, be respectful but keep all information shared during the IEP meeting confidential, to adhere to all legal guidelines set by the school, district, state, and national education organizations. Collaboration with all members of the IEP team to ensure the students' needs are met effectively. By making this video, my intent is for you to understand how important you are as a parent to this process. The individual education process begins and ends with your cooperation. As for myself, being a teacher, it is my desire to be allowed to educate all students at the level that works best for them. It takes a collaborating, caring, determined team of professionals to make this program work, and this includes you. Thank you for your time, care, and understanding, and good night.